Hey, what's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist, and today I'm doing a Water Dragon Dino deck profile. So I'm really excited for this deck because it's an insane deck that I never covered during the Legendary Duelist 1. And I don't know why I didn't do it. It's just a really fun, crazy deck, and it got really crazy with the reprint of the Dino Smasher structure deck. And so I figured I would go ahead and build this deck and show you guys how it works. So anyways guys, this is DarkArmedDuelist. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification, become part of the notification squad, and definitely check out that Patreon down in the description below because you have some awesome rewards for you guys, like getting your name in the description of every single video, getting a signed card sent to you in the mail, or even getting a request a deck profile just like this one every single month that you are a patron. So without further ado, let's get straight on into this one. So first off, we're going to be playing 2 copies of Water Dragon. So you got to play 2 copies of Water Dragon. What this card does basically is it cannot be normal summoned or set. It must be special summoned from your it must be special summoned by the effect of Bonding H2O, which we don't play Bonding H2O. We play Bonding DHO and Bonding D2O, which I'll explain a little bit later in the deck profile. And it also has the ability that when this face-up card is on the field and the attack of a fire monster and or pyro monsters becomes 0, and then when this card is destroyed and sent into the graveyard, you can special summon 2 Hydrogeddons and 1 Oxygeddon, which you guys skipped science class. What that means is you're special summoning the parts of water, because in order to make water, you have to have 2 hydrogens and 1 oxygen, which is pretty cool to make Water Dragon. We then play a single copy of Water Dragon Cluster. Water Dragon Cluster has the ability that when it's summoned to your side of the field by the effect of a bonding spell, if this card is special summoned, you can activate the effect. Effect monsters your opponent controls currently cannot activate their effects, and for the rest of the turn after this change, their attack becomes 0 until the end phase of this turn, and then you can quick effect tribute this card to special summon 2 Water Dragons from your hand and or deck in defense position, ignoring their summoning conditions. Now, the only thing I wish about this card is it didn't special summon them in defense position. That kind of sucks because you just make them on your side of the field and then you have to overlay into something else in order to go really after your opponent. So then we play 3 copies of Deuterion. 3 copies of Deuterion comes in super handy because this card, when you discard it, you can add a bonding spell from your deck to your hand. And if it's special summoned or normal summoned to your side of the field, you can target a Hydro or Oxy or another Deuterion in your graveyard and immediately special summon that card, which can help you out quite a lot getting other monsters on your side of the field. We then play 3 copies of Oxygeddon. Some of you guys might be looking at this and going, wait, that's too much. No. This card is a vanilla, okay? Do not get me wrong. It is a vanilla. Its effect sucks. But you want to see it as quickly as possible to get out Water Dragon Cluster because of the effects of your card called Bonding D2O. It's just really important to get this card in your hand as quickly as possible. So you play this card at 3 so you can get it. We then play 3 copies of Hydrogeddon as well. This card actually is a lot better, in my opinion. It's actually one of my favorite cards out of all the cards in the entire game of Yu-Gi-Oh! I used to play this card in a beatdown deck because I would summon this, beat over a monster, and then summon another one and then attack again, and then just summon a third one. It was just insane how quickly you can get Hydrogeddons out on your side of the field. And it's a really good tech card for dinosaurs, especially with Lost World making all their monsters lose 500 attack. It essentially becomes a 2100 beater on your side of the field that can special summon 2 other 2100 beaters, which is really, really good. I really like that effect. It's not bad. I see a lot of builds when I was doing research for this build and playtesting it that was only playing 2 of this. I feel like that's incorrect. I feel like 3 Hydrogeddons. If you're going Water Dragon, you need all 3. So that's it for the copies of our bonding water monsters or chemical monsters. We then play 2 copies of Ultimate Conductor Tyranno because if you don't end up going into the Water Dragon, you do have the Dinosaur package that can help you out going into that particular monster. You banish 2 dinos from your graveyard, special summon this card, and then you can have the effect to be able to basically beat over your opponent's entire field, and then it's really good. It also Book of Moons your opponent's field as well, which is really nice. 3 copies of Soul Eating Overraptor. This card is the key card of the entire deck. When it's normal summoned or special summoned, you get to take a Dinosaur monster from your deck and either add it to your hand or send it to the graveyard. And you can also target 1 level 4 or lower Dinosaur monster on the field, destroy it, and if you special summon 1 Dinosaur monster in your graveyard in defense position, and you can only use each effect of it once per turn. We then play 3 copies of Miscellaneousaurus. Miscellaneousaurus is really good in this deck because you send it to the graveyard and then it makes it so your dinosaurs are unaffected by the effect of activated effects this turn. Or during the main phase 1, and it also has the ability that you can banish from the graveyard and any number of dinosaur monsters from your graveyard to special summon a dinosaur monster from your deck that has a level equal to the amount that you banish. So if I banish 4, I can special summon a Hydrogeddon, an Oxygeddon, but if I banish 5, I can special summon Deuterion, which is pretty cool. We then play 3 copies of Baby Ceratosaurus. Baby Ceratosaurus is really good in this deck because you want to be able to destroy your monsters on your side of the field or your hand with a couple of cards in the deck, like your copies of Soul Eating Oviraptor, your copy of Ultimate Conductor Tyranno can destroy stuff, and your Lost World and copies of Draconic Diagram can also destroy your monsters to be able to special summon out your copies of your dinosaur monsters like your Hydro, Oxy, and Neutron from your deck. We then play a single copy of Petite Pterodon. Petite Pterodon, I just play as a 1-of. It special summon, it basically does the exact same as Baby Ceratosaurus, but it has to be destroyed by a level. You special summon a level 5 or higher, but the monster can't attack this turn, which is not that big of a deal. I just use this to summon my copy of Deuterion. We then play for the last monster of dinosaurs that we play in the deck. We play a single copy of the Orby Dinosaur. I did dub this the Orby Dinosaur, but when this card is normal or special summon, you can destroy 1 dinosaur monster in your hand or your field, and then you get to add a Reptile, Sea Serpent, or Winged Beast monster from your deck with the same original level as the destroyed monster, or an evolution pill from your deck to your hand, which is always going to be your double evolution pill. So you can immediately special summon out your copy of Ultimate Conductor Tyranno, which is super nice. I really like that effect. So that's it for the dinosaurs and the water dragon stuff. Let's get into the other tech monsters that we're playing in here. So for the other tech monsters, that's a lot of monsters, but it works. So for the other monsters that we're playing in this deck, we're playing a small True King engine, which is 2 copies of the True King Water and 1 copy of Lithocygen. The reason you play these in the deck at this particular ratio is because you really want to play the water one to be able to destroy your copies of Hydrogeddon and your copies of Oxygeddon in your hand. Now, keep in mind, you have to destroy a water monster and another monster, but we do play the copies of Deuterion, the Water Dragon Cluster, and your copies of the Hydrogeddon. So you have plenty of targets for this to be able to special summon, and it lets us go into VFD. And then Lithocygen essentially just pops your copies of Baby Ceratosaurus and Petite Pterodon to be able to trigger both their effects in your hand to be able to special summon dinosaur monsters from the deck. So these cards can essentially be 1-card water dragons if you draw the right cards, which is really, really nice. So that's it for the monsters, guys. Let's get into the spells. So for the spells, we're going to be playing a single copy of Terraforming because you really want to get to your field spells as quickly as possible. 3 copies of Fossil Dig, which essentially searches any level 6 or lower dinosaur monster from our deck to our hand, which can be any dinosaur in the deck except for Ultimate Conductor Tyranno, which why would you want to search that anyways? You're just going to summon it off of Double Evolution Pill. Then we play 2 copies of Lost World. Lost World's really handy in here. If you guys don't know what Lost World does, it makes it so every dinosaur monster on the field is unaffected by it. And essentially, it makes every other monster lose 500 attack, which is really good. It also has the ability that once per turn if a dinosaur monster is normal or special summoned, then you can special summon a Dirac token with 0/0 to your opponent's side of the field in defense edition. And then when your opponent controls a token, they cannot target monsters on the field with card effects except tokens. And then once per turn, if a normal monsters on the field would be destroyed, which is the token, by battle or by card effect, you can destroy as many dinosaur monsters in your hand and or deck instead. So it lets you pop your the Baby Ceratosaurus and the Petite Pterodon in your deck to be able to special summon out more dinos from your deck off of that effect, which is really good. And we then play a single copy of Draconic Diagram. You just play the diagram because it helps you pop cards, which is really nice. It has the ability that once per turn you can destroy one other card and you control or in your hand, and if you do, you get to add a True King from your deck to your hand, which is going to be Lithocygen or your copy of the Water True King, which is super nice to be able to do just to get them out of your hand. We then play 2 copies of Double Evolution Pill. Double Evolution Pill essentially is the searchable off of the Orby Dinosaur to special summon out our copy of Ultimate Conductor Tyranno by banishing a monster that's not a dinosaur from the grave and a dinosaur from the graveyard to be able to special summon a level 7 or higher dinosaur monster from your hand and or deck, ignoring summoning missions. We then play 2 copies of Bonding D2O. So Bonding D2O is the card that makes it possible to summon your Water Dragon Cluster. So it has the ability that you can tribute to Deuterion and or Oxygeddon. You have to tribute all 3. And if you in your hand and or field, and then special summon a Water Dragon or Water Dragon Cluster from your hand, deck, or graveyard. This is treated as a Bonding H2O. And if a Water Dragon or Water Dragon Cluster is sent from the field to the graveyard while this card is in your grave, you can add this card back to your hand, which comes in sometimes where you can use it again with like Draconic Diagram, because you're only ever going to activate your Bonding D2O or your Bonding DHO once per duel. Like, it's only going to come up once, because once you summon Water Dragon Cluster, That's it. You're not going to summon it again. You're going to summon it, summon your 2 water dragons, overlay them, and then go at your opponent. I mean, that's just the way the deck works. So that's it for the spells, guys. Let's get into the one trap that we play in the deck, and that is a single copy of Bonding DHO. What this card does is you shuffle a Deuterion, Hydreigon, and an Oxygeddon from your hand and or graveyard into your deck, and then you get to special summon a Water Dragon cluster from your hand and or graveyard, and you can banish this card from your graveyard to add a Water Dragon or a Water Dragon cluster from your deck or graveyard to your hand, which can come up sometimes and can be really, really handy to just get it back, and I really like that effect of being able to get it back, which can help out a little bit. You usually, again, are not going to use that effect more than once of summoning it, but it just comes in handy. So that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's get into the extra deck. So the extra deck's a little bit interesting. We're playing a single copy of Logia and a single copy of Dolka just to have that little bit of dinosaur control. Now these are both dragon monsters, so that comes in super handy with the double evolution pill. We then play my own personal tech card in here, and that is a number 100. You guys may be looking at this card and going, how are you summoning that? Well, it's actually number 97. So what you do is you summon your water dragon cluster to your side of the field, and then once you do, you contribute this card off to special summon out both your copies of Water Dragon. So when you summon these, you can overlay them and go for the number 97, and then immediately summon number 100, and then get your particular monster out on your side of the field to be able to do a lot of damage. Now we also play number 38 as well. The number 38 comes in handy because you want to use this to make the number 100. It comes in kind of handy, but if you don't want to make this, you can have the control aspect of summoning the number 38 over this. This is kind of like the sword. This is kind of like the shield of the deck. We then play number 60 because it's pretty easy to make at level 4s in this deck to be able to double the attack of a monster, and you can also draw 2 and discard 1, which can kind of help you get cards out of your hand for the copy of your Bonding DHO, which can come in super handy. 1 copy of Bahamut Shark as well. Now, so you guys might be thinking, dinosaurs and Bahamut Shark, what in the world? But you got to keep in mind that your copies of Hydreigon are also water. So you can normal summon out your Hydreigon, attack over a monster, send it to the graveyard, and then overlay, once you special summon the second one during the main phase 2, a copy of Bahamut Shark, and then overlay and summon out your Totally Awesome, which comes in super handy. It's really handy to summon this card to be able to negate cards on your opponent's side of the field. We then play a single copy of True King of All Calamities. This card comes in super handy as well because it's really easy to summon with your copies of the True Kings in the main deck, and it's just really good for basically being skill drain. 1 copy of Boral Sword just to help OTK. 1 copy of Appaloosa, which is super nice to be able to stop our opponent with stuff. Access Code Talker as well. I play all 3 of these because you never know what you really need to go into. I really didn't want to give up the Boral Sword because if I don't have enough link plays in the deck, I'm just going to go into Access Code Talker, or if I'm going to go into Boral Sword instead. 1 copy of Unicorn just to be able to spin stuff, Phoenix to be able to pop spells and traps, and Cerberus to pop monsters. So with this extra deck, it comes in really handy as well because you essentially have 3 pops with your copy of your Access Code Talker, which is really nice. Or you can even use your Appaloosa plus another monster to go into that Access Code Talker once it's used up its negates, and then make it really big and give it 4 pops if you used the copies of Cerberus, Phoenix, and Unicorn as well, which comes up sometimes. So that's it for the deck, guys. I hope you did enjoy it. It's a really fun deck to play around with. I highly recommend that you guys give it a shot. It's a really interesting deck that summons Water Dragon out. And I never thought I would actually do this, but there was like 3 people in the comments who was like, do this deck. And I was like, all right, why not? Let's do it. And so I built this deck, and I don't regret it. It's pretty interesting, and the card artworks are just beautiful. I really wish I had Ultimate Rare Water Dragons, but hey, whatever. And plus, I bought a bunch of the structure deck of Dino Smashers, and I was like, yeah, let's do this. So, anyways, guys, this is DarkArmedDuelist. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification so you can come part of our notification squad, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Don't forget to check out the Patreon down in the description. See you later, guys.